All right, thank you, Brian, and I apologize for being a few minutes late. That was on me tonight. Welcome everyone to this January 31, 2022 meeting of the Homewood City Council. Tonight we're going to start with a few presentations. The first one is for Tree City USA. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I could get Ryan and the members of the HEC that are here and present to join me up front. As you mentioned, this is a proclamation for Homewood being awarded a Tree City USA. This is actually for Arbor Day and should have been done back in November, which is okay. So you'll hear me say November quite a lot in the proclamation. I want you guys to understand why. I don't want you to think I don't know that it's January.
To be fair, we got busy planting over 200 saplings that day. So
Yeah, so
we were doing what it says there.
well, that means you took care of the important stuff. So that's right. So I'll read this proclamation, and then I'll be glad if you guys want to speak or say anything, you're welcome to as well. So, whereas the City of Homewood acknowledges that a healthy urban forest composed of a significant portion of native trees is vital to public health, a sound infrastructure, civic pride, and the economic and aesthetic value of the city. And whereas the presence of an urban forest, when properly managed as part of a comprehensive landscape plan, will promote soil conservation, reduced flooding, improve air and water quality, reduce noise pollution, provide a buffer between residents and businesses, and increase property values. And whereas the City of Homewood finds that it's in the public interest and welfare of its citizens, present and future, to promote the protection of trees throughout the city. And whereas Green Skies Over Homewood is an annual native tree replenishment initiative run by the Homewood Environmental Commission. And whereas Arbor Day is observed throughout the nation and the world, now therefore I, Patrick McCluskey, Mayor of the City of Homewood, Alabama, do hereby proclaim the month of November as Tree Awareness Month and the first Saturday of the month of November as Arbor Day in the City of Homewood, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to organize or join in activities planned throughout the month of November, such as the Green Skies Over Homewood tree plantings, seed collection activities, tree education programs as organized by the Homewood Environmental Commission, and all other efforts to protect our trees and urban forest. And that's it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Would y'all like to say anything? You're welcome to. Yeah.
Just a little backstory on the November there. That's Green Skies. I hope that maybe you guys have heard of that, but that's why we decided that would be the Arbor Day. Green Skies is along the Shades Creek and the Greenway there, where we plant over 200 saplings each year. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here, but that's why we chose that day, and we got busy planting that, and then the mayor was nice enough to let us go back and do the official proclamation. All this kind of apexes with the Tree City signs that we have and the standards that we follow to be able to wear that badge as a Tree City. So thank you for your support, and we appreciate everything y'all do. So thanks.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Mayor, I think we've got another one for trafficking-free zone.
This is correct. Is Ms. Fowler here by chance?
No,
Thank you. But okay, well, Ms. Fisher, you come on up.
I'm sorry, what's your surname?
Ms. Fisher?
Deborah
Fisher. Okay. I just put it for the record.
So this is a proclamation for the human trafficking-free zone for the World Games that are coming here this summer. Whereas the city of Birmingham has been chosen to host the World Games 2022, an international sporting event that will bring thousands of athletes as well as countless tourists and media to the Birmingham metro area. And whereas an increase in tourists seeking entertainment, including commercial sex, increases the potential risk for exploitation and human trafficking. Traffickers are opportunistic hunters, and they see major sporting events and hundreds of thousands of people who flock to sports venues as an opportunity for huge profits with very little risk of penalty or punishment. And whereas human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery in which victims are forced to work in various forms of exploitation, including debt bondage, forced marriage, labor, and commercial sexual exploitation that are induced through force, fraud, or coercion. The City of Homewood, Alabama is committed to becoming a trafficking-free zone, ensuring that our community is prepared to recognize signs of human trafficking. And whereas, due to its isolating nature, many individuals are unaware that trafficking exists in their neighborhoods. The first step in eliminating human trafficking in our community is to educate others. We must work diligently to ensure that all frontline industries are aware of this issue and how to spot it. Now, therefore, I, Patrick McCluskey, Mayor of the City of Homewood, Alabama, do hereby proclaim that we will continue our efforts to combat the commercial sexual exploitation of our children and vulnerable adults and mitigate the associated public safety, economic, and health risks to our community in collaboration with the Child Trafficking Solutions Project by the U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking and other anti-human trafficking organizations by combating commercial sexual exploitation through comprehensive education of our staff and the implementation and enforcement of a zero-tolerance policy against any act which may support human trafficking. And I ask all citizens of the City of Homewood to join us in promoting a shift away from the culture of tolerance towards human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody that you want? Jennifer, will you come take a picture? And you can use her phone too.
Yeah.
So.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Would you take one on my phone too? Oh, yeah, sure will. Thank you.
You're so welcome. 1, 2, 3.
But I should have
1, 2, 3. There you go.
And I would love for you to
Mr.
speak as
President,
well.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Are there, I mean, I'm sure with the World Games coming, are there other cities? Are you trying to get this with all the municipalities within?
This is a statewide initiative.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
So we've been to, the ones that I know of so far, Birmingham, Oxford. I'm going to Center Point in a couple of weeks, so yes, it is
Okay, great.
statewide.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, and just real briefly, we would like to thank the city council and the mayor for their partnership in the fight against human trafficking. The trafficking-free zone is such an important initiative because it brings awareness and training to the city, and it educates people to know the signs of human trafficking. So the more that people are aware, the more that they know the signs, that leads to more victims being set free and more prosecutions of traffickers. And it's also really important to be talking about human trafficking to our students, educating the community and their parents about the dangers of human trafficking. Unfortunately, no school in the state is free from the dangers of human trafficking. So on behalf of Child Trafficking Solutions Project, we'd like to say thank you again because of your actions, the mayor and the city council. We are working to keep more children safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher.
And here it is. Let me make sure it's the right one. It is. There you
Thank
go.
you.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One other quick announcement before we call the meeting to order. The first stormwater public meeting is going to, well, the first two meetings for the stormwater plan or reviewing the system will be on February 15th at 1 p.m. and 4:30. I'm assuming, Ms. Salter, do we know that there's going to be in here?
Yes, sir. I think he wanted the council chamber, so it was okay since it was the middle of the day.
Absolutely. So if everyone will just publicize those times so that anyone from the public can come and talk about our stormwater system and what needs to be done. Sure. 1 o'clock and 4:30. That's February 15th. All right. So with that, I will go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we are going to start with an invocation from Ms. Andrus, I believe, and that will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand.
If you will, pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon us as citizens of Homewood, Alabama. Thank you for the many people who serve and work for our city and our community at large, and for all those that are gathered here tonight. Please guide us tonight to work together in harmony, to listen with open ears, to serve our city with open hearts and open minds, and to glorify you in all we do. I pray for the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is in your blessed name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
If everyone will face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Ms. Andrus. Ms. Salter, if you will please call roll.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney,
Here.
Counselor Gear. Here. Counselor Allamon, Counselor Wolverton, Counselor Sims.
Here.
Say I sorry. Counselor Jones,
Here.
Counselor Smith. Here. Counselor Nelms,
Here.
Counselor Andrus,
Here.
Counselor Harden, and President Wyatt.
Here.
You got 3 absent, but you still got a quorum.
Great, thank you. All right, next we have the reading of the minutes from the regular council meeting of January 10, 2022. I would entertain a motion and a second to dispense with the reading of those minutes and for approval of the same.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Ms. Smith, second by Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 8-0. Next, we have the reading of the minutes from the specially called council meeting of January 18, 2022. I would entertain a similar motion for this item.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Smith, second by Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also 8-0. And lastly, a special called meeting of January 24, 2022. Entertain another motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Gear, second by Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 8-0. Thank you, everybody. Next, we have board vacancies. Let me get one out of the way here real quick. We've got the Ward 2 BZA position that closed earlier today, but since neither ward representative is here, we're just going to hold off on that until the next meeting.
I'll let McKenna, I did tell McKenna to all of them to touch base on that tonight.
Yeah.
So I'll just let them know that they,
Yeah, just let them know we're going to wait for the ward reps to be back because neither one of them could be here tonight.
I'm at
Setting that one aside, we have an at-large for the park board that closed on the 10th. Ms. Smith is the liaison. Do you have something?
We would like to appoint Jennifer Harden to that position. We did initially have 2 applicants, but one of the applicants withdrew their application, so we did not have to have interviews. And we are happy to appoint Ms. Harden. She actually applied for a seat on the board previously, and she has served very faithfully the Homewood Soccer Board, so we're excited to have her join us on the park board.
All right, so we have a motion to appoint Jennifer Harden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Sims. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 8-0. Congratulations to Ms. Harden. Ms. Salter, if you'll let her know. And then lastly, we have the Historic Preservation position for Ward 3 that also closed today. Mr. Sims, I'm sorry, Ms. Smith.
Well, I was just going to say, we do have one applicant who applied on the deadline, but I would like to send his information to Eddie and the rest of the board members prior to making that appointment, if y'all don't mind holding off until the meeting in February. Is that okay with y'all? Sure. We can go ahead and let him know. I just wanted to send it to them, and I did not have a
Sure.
chance to do that today.
No problem at all. All right. That brings us to additions to the agenda. We do have one addition tonight that will go to the committee referral agenda. This is going to be, Ms. Salter, make sure I'm right, 290122?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Andrus, I'm going to word this, you're going to have to help me. Request for consideration to replace gutters on the something block?
100 block of Yorkshire.
On the 100 block of Yorkshire?
Mm-hmm. And that's going to go to Public Works and to Finance.
All right. All right. So with that addition, I would entertain a motion and a second for approval of the amended agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Nelms, second by Ms. Andrus. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also 8-0. That brings us to the consent agenda. I would entertain motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gwaltney, second by Ms. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also 8-0. And I believe I see Mr. Harden. Welcome, Mr. Harden. All right, so we'll start with the old business agenda then. First item, 080122, bid opening set for January 31, 2022 at 5 p.m. for demolition of 175 Citation Court, brought to us by Berkeley Squires, our Public Works Director. I understand that this needs to go back to finance. Is that correct, Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Our committee initially on January 24th had recommended we send it out without recommendation, but Mr. Squires did recommend that we send this back to finance for further discussion.
All right, and then we will send that back to finance and talk about it next week. All right, next item, 060122, public hearing set for February 14, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration of a sign variance at 2818 18th Street South, brought to us by Andrew Tynes and Shaya's Mammoth Murals and Wyatt Pugh of our building department. So we will carry this item over for our next meeting on the 14th when we will have that public hearing. Next item, 070122, public hearing set for February 14, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration of a sign variance at 2834 18th Street South, brought to us by Mick Britton of Nadu and Kingfisher Signs and Wyatt Pugh of our building department. We will also carry this item over to our next meeting and have the public hearing at that time. Next item, 090122, public hearing set for February 28, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration to rezone 2916 Linden Avenue from C1 Office Building District to C4 Central Business District. The applicant is Strassner Investment Company. This came to us from the Planning Commission with a vote of 6-2 with one absent for a favorable recommendation of the rezone. We will carry this item over as well until our February 28 meeting. Next item, 100122, public hearing set for February 28, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration to rezone 3006 Cook Street from C2 Neighborhood Shopping District to R7 Attached Dwelling Unit District. The applicant is John Abernathy of BRE Cook Street LLC. This would facilitate the construction of a 6-unit townhome development and comes to us from the Planning Commission with a vote of 7-1 with one absent for a favorable recommendation of the rezone. We will also carry that item over until February 28, sensing a pattern. Next item, 110122, public hearing set for February 28, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration to rezone 2821 Central Avenue from C4 Central Business District to M1 Light Manufacturing District. The applicant is the City of Homewood and the owner of Taco Partners LLC for these lots comprising the subject property that were unintentionally included in the rezone of the original parcel in December of 2014. Planning Commission, this comes to us from the Planning Commission with a vote of 8-0 with one absent for a favorable recommendation of the rezone. We will also carry that one over until the 28th. Next one, 120122, public hearing set for February 14, 2022 at 6 p.m. for consideration to amend the final development plan at 2727 18th Street South and 1817 27th Avenue South. The applicant is Homewood Hotel LLC. This is to update the plan to reflect the as-built conditions. This comes to us from the Planning Commission with a vote of 8-0 with one absent for a favorable recommendation of the amended development plan. We will also carry that item over until the 14th. All right. Next item, 050122, request to authorize the mayor to sign amended Tyler Technologies contract. Comes to us from Lieutenant Keith Peterson and J.J. Bischoff, and we'll start with a report from Finance. Dr. Jones.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on January 24th and voted 5-0 to recommend approval of this item.
All right, thank you very much. We have a motion from Finance. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that is 9-0 and will be
10.
Resolution 2210.
It's 10.
No, it's not.
We've got two absent.
We have two absent. We do not have Ward 2.
Yeah. All right, so 9-0, and that will be Resolution 2210. Next item, 150122, request to authorize the mayor to sign a contract and pay fiscal year 21-22 appropriation to West Homewood Neighborhood Association, brought to us by Justin Limbaugh and Robert Burgett, our finance director, and Melody Salter, our city clerk. Another report from Finance, Dr. Jones.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This is where we could be really mean and not pass this. Anyway, but that's not what we're gonna.
If you're not here, you get talked about.
That's right, that's right. But no, the Finance Committee did meet and vote 5-0 to recommend this approval of this item.
All right, we have a motion from Finance. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And it's also 9-0 and will be Resolution 2211. Next item, 160122, request to authorize the mayor to sign contract and pay fiscal year 21-22 appropriation to JBS Mental Health Authority, brought to us by Robert Brigette, our Finance Director, and Melody Salter, our City Clerk. And another report from Finance, Dr. Jones.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met voted 5-0 to recommend approval of this item.
All right. We have another motion from Finance. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is also 9-0 and will be Resolution 2212. All right. Next item, 02-1221, request for consideration of Forest Brook sidewalk engineering and design work on Forest Brook Drive from Forest Brook Circle to West Oxmoor Road via Shades Glen Drive and Delcris Drive, brought to us by Councilors Alamon and Wolverton. And a report from P&D, Ms. Andrus.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think we sent that out.
You're sending it to
So
Finance.
sorry. Yep, we did. I'm sorry. The committee, I'm sorry. I've looked at my phone at the exact wrong moment. I'm so sorry. That's the first time in 6 years I've done that. The committee voted 3-0 to refer this item to the Finance Committee for engineering and design work and to create a new agenda item to be referred to the Public Safety Committee for traffic calming measures. The motion was made by Councilor Gwaltney and seconded by Councilor Sims.
All right, so we will refer that item to Finance, and then we'll worry about the additional item as well that'll get created.
It's on the referral.
It's on the referral tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
it's supposed to be, yes, sir.
I was
When we get there,
just
I'll see it.
thinking, I'm assuming it's there, but I didn't.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, there it is, 220122. Okay, so we will send 02-1221 to Finance next week. All right, next item, 010122, request for consideration to permit use of City Hall Plaza on a recurring basis for tournament by Cornhole BHM, a social cornhole league, brought to us, and he's been here a bunch of times and I still can't do the name right, John Piantratoni of Cornhole BHM and Wyatt Pugh, and a report from Special Issues, Ms. Smith.
Yes, Mrs. Piantrantoni came last week to our meeting. This is the same cornhole league that had a short season in the fall on the plaza, which was apparently very successful. So they're coming back for a spring season. And the committee voted 5-0 to recommend approving it. Motion was made by Ms. Andrus and seconded by Mr. Sims. And then we're going to work, because they are also going to want to do a summer league and then another fall league. So we're going to work to get those dates taken care of. But we had their presentation last week in the committee meeting.
We're very excited to have him back. I know everyone enjoyed it the first time. So we have a motion from Special Issues. Any questions or comments? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also 9-0 and will be 2213. Next item, 020122, request for consideration of a variance to the tent ordinance for Trinity United Methodist Church in the small parking lot from March 3 through March 7, 2022 for a discovery program brought to us by Councilor Smith. And we also have a report from Special Issues from Ms. Smith.
Yes, committee met last week, voted 5-0 to recommend approving this item. Motion was made by Mrs. Gear and seconded by Ms. Andrus.
All right, we have a motion from Special Issues. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 9-0 as well, and will be 2214. Next item, 030122, request to work in the city right-of-way at Grand Poinciana Triangle by the Hollywood Garden Club, brought to us by Councilors Andrus and Harden, and another report from Special Issues, Ms. Smith.
Yes, this is a project that the Garden Club wants to do over in Hollywood in memory of Annie Montgomery on a triangle that is over there. So the committee heard a presentation from the Garden Club and voted 5-0 to recommend approving the item pending a hold harmless clause. And the Garden Club is also going to work with Berkeley and his staff so that they can make sure it meets all of our requirements. The motion was made for approval by Ms. Andrus and seconded by Mr. Alaman.
All right, thank you very much. We have another motion from Special Issues. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also 9-0 and will be 22-15. All right, that brings us to the committee referral agenda, or the amended committee referral agenda. I would entertain a motion and a second for approval of the the amended committee referral agenda.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Nelms, second by Mr. Harden. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 9-0. Which brings us to other new business. 260122, request to set a public hearing for consideration for condemnation of the dwelling structure at 1681 Ashwood Lane, brought to us by
Alex, your mic.
Building Department. Mr. Kendrick, how far out do we need to set that public hearing?
You have to give 10-day notice, and it has to be published in the paper, so.
Is it just published one time? So I wasn't sure. Okay, published one time. So I guess we can do it on the 28th or March the 14th, whichever one.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it on the 28th.
Okay.
So we'll set that public hearing for February 28th at 6 p.m.
Alex, your mic.
Oh, thank you, Brian. We'll set that public hearing for February 28th at 6 p.m. All right, next item, 270122, request to release lien on the following property, 1117 Hardwick Lane. This comes from a resolution that we previously passed of 2152. It's from Melody Salter, our city clerk, and Robert Brigette, our finance director. This was we need to release the lien so they can get on with this property. So I would entertain a motion and a second for us to release the lien.
We were paid on it at closing.
Yeah, I was wondering, are we getting our money from them?
Yeah, we already got the money at closing.
All right. I would make a motion to approve releasing the lien.
All right. Motion for Ms. Smith, second for Ms. Nelms. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 9-0 and will be 22-16. All right, last item, 280122, request for consideration of approval of vouchers for a period of January 11, 2022 through January 31, 2022, brought to us by Robert Brigette and Melody Salter. I think that Mr. Alaman was supposed to be doing this, but conveniently caught COVID right when his term started. So, Mr. Jones, did you review them?
I did. So I thought that needed to fill in. So happy to do that. And it was interesting. You always learn something. We have just a record number of basketball participants. I think they ordered like 900 and something uniforms for basketball, so it's just, incredible, the growth. But I did, so I had everything answered, so I would move to approve the payment of the vouchers from January 11th to 31st. It was a big run.
Second.
All right. Motion from Mr. Jones and second from Ms. Smith. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 9-0 and will be 22-17. All right, which brings us to the end of the agenda. Mr. Mayor, do you have any announcements for tonight?
Yeah, just a few. So JJ just informed me that City Hall will be lit red for Heart Month in February, so you guys will notice a change in color. We also, I talked with Robbie yesterday at the Exceptional Foundation. We should be having our basketball game hopefully before the end of this month. If not, it may be pushed to the 1st of March. But, they're welcoming a new person in charge over there. So they've been really busy. But I know they're very excited to have Sarah on board. We look forward to working with her and Robbie and the rest of the crew over there at the Exceptional Foundation and hopefully winning a basketball game for once. Doubt it, but we'll see. And then last, it is officially show choir season in Homewood. So I got my first taste of middle school show choir down in Montgomery this past weekend. And so it's odd being in the crowd, not on the stage. But we really enjoyed it, and I know the high school is getting in full swing. We got to see a part of their show last Thursday, I believe. So it's a big thing here, and we really appreciate all the time and effort that goes into putting a show like that together. So really excited for the kids, and that's all I got.
Did you pull out one of your old outfits to wear in the audience?
No. I think I've retired the sequin vest for ever. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Gwaltney.
I have no comments this evening, though I was a little bit confused looking through the meeting minutes. I couldn't find where the park board position was posted, because I meant to put it into my Facebook page and I missed it. So,
Jennifer's spot?
well, the at-large position, because someone had reached out to me a couple weeks ago about
I can tell you when it closed. It closed on January
it
10th.
closed on the 10th. Okay, but that I just looked through all of our meeting minutes, and it wasn't listed on any meeting minute back to November.
On the minutes, but it was posted, I can't remember, what was that date, Melody?
It was, the last one in December was the one that I missed that y'all said it got announced.
Yeah.
So that would have been the 20th.
20th.
Yeah.
So
It was right there before Christmas.
December 20th? Okay, that's just a little,
I think it got caught up in the.
it's just a little, yeah, I guess it's just a little bit concerning, because someone could, if they were looking for something like that in the minutes, they would have missed it, but.
We posted it, but we posted it before it closed, but it wasn't posted right after. the
Okay.
Because, that was when I had to leave for a holiday, and we switched, so now I got missed. It
Oh, yeah,
wasn't-
I'm not pointing fingers. I was just concerned at the lack of actual good notice in all of our mechanisms. So, that's it.
Do you need to set public safety?
I don't think I do, actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the agenda.
And let's see. Let me raise, as we're talking about committees. I had a couple of people, I had a couple of people, this has been raised a couple of times, and apparently this was done this way at one point. Rather than setting times for committees, that we just set the order and we just go through them and we say,
Oh, because we always get behind, and the times are never right.
the times don't tend to not be right one way or another. Either we're too,
Just sit there for-
either we're late or we're early, and if we're early, we got to sit there and wait till we start, and if we're late, so at any rate, the way it used to work was you just set the order, you started them at 5, everyone started at the conclusion of the last one.
Does that make a difference for posting purposes?
You just post it as it's going to start at the end of the last one,
Okay.
or the preceding one,
You have to post that they all essentially start at 5,
technically at 5.
following the next preceding meeting.
Okay.
So if we're good with that, then we can just set the order, and then we can be more efficient about what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Works for me.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Jones?
Yeah, and what was helpful, I mean, we can't always exactly predict how long a meeting's gonna last, but it was always helpful, everything would start at 5, but then we would say, we feel like finance is gonna be about 30 minutes, so if you do have people coming, it helps them
Sure.
gauge when they can be there, so they don't have to sit through.
In other words, we go ahead and give the estimate that
An estimate,
like we
but
always do,
we're gonna
but.
start immediately following
Right.
finance or whatever, yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that, I'm assuming finance will still be first.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Always number one.
we're-
Number one in your hearts.
In your art, that's right.
So-
And then,
If public safety needs to be set, it'll be set second.
We'll set it second. How long do you need, so we can give you an idea?
about 30 minutes is
So,
what it looks like.
We'll
to
say
me.
tentatively around 5:30.
But you don't want any posting time.
Correct.
So-
It'll just-
Everything will be at 5, yeah.
Correct.
Following completion.
All right. Ms. Gear?
I don't have any announcements, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sims?
Yes, good evening. So, do we need to set, I guess, I was going to ask about setting Public Works, but
We
actually,
do.
it'll just be defaulted at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Counselor Wolverton's, sometimes he asks me about setting that, so.
He did ask me about, he said he wanted it set, but yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, well, I'll let the order run through, but I mean, I think it should be said. I was just going to reference it. Okay. And then as far as other updates, beautification board meets next Monday. So I just wanted to let folks know about keeping out. And I'm sorry, actually, we're a little bit off on weeks. So actually, that's February 14th. Beautification board meets next at noon at City Hall. And then also just wanted to echo the mayor's remarks about the new executive director at the Exceptional Foundation. It's a United Way colleague, Sarah Newell. I'm very excited about her appointment to that position as CEO at Exceptional Foundation. Just want to congratulate her and look forward to that continued partnership between the city and the Exceptional Foundation. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Yes, we'll do finance first, if that's okay with everybody.
And even if it's not?
And even if it's not, we'd like to do that. I'd like to welcome Miles, who's here for citizenship in the community or communications? Both. Okay, well, good.
Two birds with one stone.
We have had council meetings that lasted 3 hours, so you picked a really good night to come to this. So you hit the jackpot. So
Williams.
Yeah, Williams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna make you say the scout oath or anything. Okay, so don't worry about that. But anyway, thank you for coming, and thank you for your service. I would also say, Mr. Mayor, I learned a lot about when my daughter told me one time when she was in show choir, we're having a poof party at the house. I had no idea what it was, but when I walked in, I couldn't breathe. The hairspray was everywhere. So amazing the things you learn with your children. But anyway, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
I'm going to set, how long do you, well, I know we're not setting times, but what is your estimated time for 15? Okay. All right, so I will set special issues after public safety, tentatively for 5:45. And I think I'm also excited about Sarah coming to the Exceptional Foundation. I think that's going to be really exciting and bring some new ideas and some excitement to the place. So I don't have anything else tonight.
All right. Ms. Nelms?
I don't have anything tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Andrus?
Let's see, I do not need to set P&D because the Strassner item, we're gonna take the night of the 28th, right, going into council. And I think that's the only item, I think we went through all the other items, so I'm not gonna set P&D. Just two quick things. I am gonna be able tomorrow morning to go meet with Senator Roger Smitherman, who's gonna be giving some money for the bridge projects. I'm very excited about that. I'm not sure the amount, but certainly appreciate this is the second time he's given to this project. And I also wanted to announce that Steve Ammons is running unopposed, so he will be our county commissioner for 4 more years. So very excited about that because he's been a very busy guy and he's gotten a lot done for this area, and I want to say thank you to him. So, and congratulations. So that's all I have.
All right. Mr. Harden?
Sure. One is, I don't wish I could remember who told me this, but they said only Jennifer Andrus could do what it took to get that bridge. I mean, only she would stick with those people at AlDOT and all those other people for what it took to get that bridge. So
still working on it, though.
We're grateful for that. A lot of people don't know that how tough Miles Williams is. I hiked all over New Mexico with him, and he was our go-to guy when, man, one of the kids couldn't carry something. Oh, I'll carry it. That's okay. Quiet, doesn't say much. So I asked him, I said, Miles, how's this compare to football practice? Because, I mean, it was tough hiking up and down those mountains, 12,000 feet. He said, football practice is harder. I was shocked at that answer. So, welcome, Miles.
All right. I've just got a couple of things. First, thank you to Ms. Smith for running the last meeting when both myself and Dr. Jones were out of town, and showing everyone that this isn't that hard, and I don't deserve a whole lot of credit for it.
You did a great job.
You did. So we appreciate that. Next, just one more time about the stormwater meeting and to correct something. The stormwater meeting is on February 15th. The first one is at 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, not starting at 1 o'clock. It starts at 10 and it runs to 1. And then the second one will be at 4:30 to 6:30. Next, the committees, our next committee meeting will be next week. Nothing changes about those, but because of President's Day, we will not have committees on the 21st. So the 28th, we will double up and do everything. Yes, ma'am.
I did have a question about that.
Okay.
So will we just post the order, because we won't have another meeting in order to set the committee meetings? You know what I'm saying?
14.
14th?
No, those are committee meetings, though.
No, that's council.
Oh, no, that's council.
That's council meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I'm so sorry, I was
Yeah.
so confused, and my dates are off.
Yes, ma'am.
Valentine's Day together.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's going last, right?
It is.
She didn't set P&D, right? So it's
She
going
did
after
not.
Special issues.
She did not.
Yeah.
So, and then I will set Public Works for Mr. Wolverton. Ms. Smith, how long you think? Okay, so his will be somewhere around 6:05 probably, but,
I'm just gonna say following special.
but it officially will be following special issues. All right, and then lastly, I'll welcome Miles as well. I saw Miles before the meeting and had to, look straight up to see him. What's funny is that many of you know my daughter Reardon, who is, 4'11", and when she started babysitting for Miles, he was shorter than her. Now he's about twice as tall as her. But he and his brother Walker were always some of her favorites. She still, in our house, we can't watch the movie Elf without thinking of the two of you. So if anyone wants to know the story, we'll tell that later. But we always think about y'all when that movie comes on. So with that, we will adjourn this meeting, and we'll see everyone in a couple weeks.